Good morning, everyone. Another day, another 5 a.m. start. Last time you guys liked the full day in the life, but also I think you liked the fact that I don't tend to do anything that's not really real and authentic, and that was definitely how I started my YouTube channel, was just film pretty much everything. One thing that I find funny is when people film themselves in the morning, they're like, it's 5 a.m. You can tell they've not just woken up, but you can tell with my face that I've just woken up. So, good night's sleep though. And I tried the Pulsetto thing for the first time last night. It did make me feel quite relaxed, but I'm not gonna judge it off one night. I already feel quite relaxed with my evening routine anyway. Loz gave it a try, but it doesn't really fit around her tiny little neck. So if you've got a small neck, maybe it's not for you. But cardio this morning. So an update to proceedings since the last video is that I'm now using CV Burn instead of using just an espresso, just because this stuff is, well, it's powerful. It's seriously powerful. It's a lot of caffeine. You need to make sure that you understand exactly how much you're having, because you could seriously overdose caffeine if you had too much of this. It's 1 3-gram scoop, which you like this, is 300 milligrams of caffeine. So I don't have any other caffeine apart from when I have my pre-workout coffee on days like this, but it gives you a really good boost of course energy in the morning, but at the same time it gets, my heart rate right now is a real struggle to get into 120 to 140 because I'm just light and relatively fit. So if you really struggle to get your heart rate into those more, I don't want to use the term fat burning, but more aerobic ranges, right? You need to probably take something that's going to help you get there. So CV Burn is doing the job quite nicely for myself. So other than that, updates, things are going well. Body weight is coming down. We're into pretty much the 150s now. Yesterday was a rest day, and I'm actually finding that my rest days are, I'm not going to say that they're super hard or anything, because they're not super hard, but I prefer training days. I prefer having the training session to wake up my nervous system and get me going, because when I'm just resting, my body kind of tells me that I'm a bit more tired, and I just don't like it. I just don't like feeling tired. My operating window in my day is 5 a.m. until 2 or 3 p.m. But from 2 or 3 p.m. I'm starting to downgrade in terms of function. But that's not a problem, because my work from the morning until that 3 p.m. point is so productive that I'm getting more done than I was in the off season. Kind of like I said in the last video anyway, I don't want to repeat myself. So let's crack on with this cardio, 35 minutes this morning. And I'll probably see you at some point after for a meal or for running you through some stuff that I'm doing with clients today, which isn't a crazy stacked check-in day, 18, 19. My busier days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturdays. So hence why I've got the camera out. All right, guys, bon appetit. See you in a bit. Another little cardio tip before we get started is, obviously people like blunt out the fact that they're doing cardio, right? You almost tell yourself that you're not doing cardio when you're doing cardio. But for the first 5 minutes of cardio in the morning, when I'm still waking up, because I'm lucky enough to of course have a bike in my living room, when I'm still waking up, I actually use that first 5 minutes to be, instead of just blasting myself with drill or the podcast or exposing myself to YouTube or whatever, I actually just do the first 5 minutes and just tell myself that I'm like, that sounds a bit cringe or whatever, it doesn't. I just tell myself I'm grateful to actually be able to do the cardio, be able to move my body, be able to push my body, because it's very easy just to be so robotic when you're in a bodybuilding prep, especially in the off season. Also, you should be robotic, but it's a little bit less. There'll be some things which will fluctuate in your routine. Like right now, water, food, training, sleep, all is done basically within minutes of each other each day in terms of my timings, just because that's the way that I like to operate. You can still get great results with some deviations, some variants, but I like super consistency. And it's very easy just to wake up and be a robot. So my advice is to try and not be a robot in your mind, at least. Really still be in the moment and be present and be grateful for the ability to do things. Because otherwise, you end up not seeing so much of the positive in it. Because imagine if I couldn't do this cardio, or imagine if I couldn't push myself, imagine if I wasn't able to prep. All of these things that we don't even realize when we're just super robotic. And also cardio has a bunch of benefits. I find it's really good for my mental health. It's obviously great for your fitness. It's great for longevity. So just view it as multifaceted in terms of its benefits. It's not just we're trying to burn calories and we're not just trying to get shredded. That's kind of the objective, but there's other stuff that's going on that you can be grateful for. So we're super grateful. So we have some deliveries. I have one box here. I have one massive box here. It's like Christmas Day over here. So we're going to open these up as I feel like people love unboxings. So here we go. As you can see, my unboxing capabilities are vast. Okay. Is one of my latest purchases. It is a vagus nerve stimulator. I will show you this when I'm wearing it, but I got from watching Brian Johnson, which is a guy that's basically trying to live forever, and he actually uses this one, and it's meant to help you, of course, manage stress, improve sleep, improve HRV, reduce overall pain, potentially deal with headaches and things like that, control anxiety, and avoid burnout. I think.
Sign me up!
Yeah. Honest, that's what it says on the back of the box. You link it up to an app, and oh, here it is. You can open it up right here. It sits on like your vagus nerve, so it's your neck here, like that, and it stimulates your vagus nerve, which is meant to get you into more of a parasympathetic state.
I need that.
Yeah, I bought it for us. It's not fucking cheap. It's very expensive. I'm really excited to actually try it. Yeah, it came with some lube.
What? Sorry? What?
You need it for it to work. They call it a gel box, but really it's lubricant. It's highly conductive multi-purpose electrolyte. Highly conductive. Does that mean like my hair's gonna go wild? Right, well I'm excited to try that. We'll report back, because this is going to be a bit of a random vlog. I will report back at some point during this vlog to give you my initial thoughts, aka have my Oura Ring bits of data improved. And I feel like anything I can do to enhance my well-being, I will do. Within reason, of course. I'm not going to go and... We haven't got room for like sauna or loads of different things here, so... nice little box, nice presentation. The brand is called Pulsetto, so you can go and check that out. I have not got a code or anything like that, but I feel there's two things that actually need to get into the fitness space more with influencers. Is I'd like to see influencers liked and backed by because I think they could do a killing with some athletes that are like in the bodybuilding space, because it's a really well used tool now. Obviously some bodybuilders hate it, but that's their own opinion, it's fine, they're allowed to have it. I also think things like this would be great hooking up with bodybuilders, because anything you can do for well-being and sleep as a bodybuilder is a massive benefit. So I think these brands should reach out to people. And then another one is my recovery boots, Pulsio boots. They sponsor and they support a lot of like athletes, which I get, but I think they're amazing. I'll maybe show you them later in the vlog. But they're amazing if your expenditure is high in a prep and your legs just have that dead heavy feeling. They're a fantastic tool. So yeah, for the boots, and then Pulsetto for that device. Now, this is a big box. It says naughty boy, hey, on the side. I'm the opposite of a naughty boy right now. I'm a very well behaved boy. Let's open this up, see what we got. See what's inside. More cardboard. I mean, I don't really know why there's so much of that in boxes. We have 4 awesome products from our sponsors, Insight Subs. So Insight have been sponsoring us since end of 2021. Did my last prep actually. Great. We've got some great things in the pipeline in terms of collaborations as well. So they do a great job at supporting us through our process with supplements. They're just good guys. So go and support them. Use my code AJ10 or use Loz's code, Loz10.
Use my code.
Take your pick. So we've got Hydra EA from HR Labs, which is one of our favourite brands. Who owns HR Labs, is great. If you read like info bit on the actual supplement, you'll always get a laugh because it literally is just
So funny.
wrapping yourself in steak and swimming with hippos, even though they prefer eating plants. Using a chainsaw to cut your hair, using your hair as a parachute. Like, this is actually
You have
what
to
it says.
read it in Liam's voice.
Yeah, of course, yeah. It won't sound great. We've got a pump formula. I did ask for something else, but Danny said they didn't have it in stock. We just put in what he thought would be a good one that tastes good. I'm not a huge guy on like, bro. Like, I'm not going to read out the panel. This is called Vaso Grand Prix. I like that. Grand Prix Max. They should have done like Formula 1 theme on it with that name. But 1 scoop is for a light workout, good pumps and beginner. 2 scoops is for a heavy workout, max pumps, advanced. Well, we know where we're going. We're going with 2 scoops because we are advanced and we want max pumps. So that'll be utilised for tomorrow's push session. I just asked for a basic omega, so this is the core series that they do, which is basically Insight own brand. You can trust that these are just good quality supplements. So got an omega to keep us in stock with those. Then we've got Support Max Neuro, which is one of my favourite priming supplements. This, I do like to know the ingredients, of course, in these. Well, I know the ingredients well in the PM products. We've got choline, we've got KSM 66 ashwagandha, I can't pronounce, but it's essentially all ingredients that will help you to get into more of a relaxed state. Lion's mane, which actually for me, I prefer to take this immediately post-workout and then do like an actual PM kind of supplement before bed, because the lion's mane does, and the black pepper extract, which is for uptake, actually helps with focus a little bit more for me. So this is actually a nice supplement to put in, like some people even post cardio in the morning on rest days, or even on a training day, if it doesn't make you feel too sleepy. And also at the same time, it can be put in after training if you've got like a work block. I like to use it in that fashion. Yes.
They do, so that
And they do a PM version.
Yeah, they do a PM
which is
version,
like sleep one. And then we've got a whey protein, which I'm actually quite excited to try because I've never tried the Naughty Boy stuff. Grams of this is 22 protein, 3 carb, 1.4 fat, so pretty decent for carrot cake. Yeah. Do you like that? I think it would be quite nice. Frosted carrot cake.
Can I smell it?
Yeah, you can. Protein blend, so we've got concentrate, isolate, and then obviously like the usual like and stuff like that. So yeah, to give that a shot. She wants to give it a smell, so we can give it a smell if we can open it up. Oh, it's probably here. Oh, it's a nice full tub, which is good. And do the lick and dip.
I don't know really how to do it. Just put your finger in.
Well, yeah, lick your finger first, and then get some of it. Fire.
Carrot cake.
That's fucking fire.
you
can tell I'm impressed.
I'm like, guys, that's carrot cake, and you're like,
Holy fucking moly.
that's amazing. That's really
Wow,
nice.
they have been naughty boys.
They have been cooking.
They have been chefs. I'm going to try that tonight, I think, with my
That would be so fucking nice now.
with my porridge.
No porridge.
All right, thank you Insight, thank you Danny,
Inside.
thank you Shaz, thank you the boys. That's it for this segment. I hope you enjoyed. Alright guys, it's all systems go for meal number 1 for me. And for meal number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for Loz. Loz likes to chef up all her meals. No, hey, it is true. You like to chef up a lot of your meals because you're a good bodybuilder. And you get ahead and it's efficient. So, it's my first work block done on a Thursday. Now, as an online coach, your days will look, and if you are an online coach and you're watching this, which probably many people are, your days will look very different, and you have to be prepared for certain days to be able to lock into a certain different feedback mechanism within your brain in terms of who are you talking to. And today I have actually a lot of clients on this specific day that, truth be told, are dealing with quite a few different issues. Some of them are things that we've been working on for a short period of time, some of them are things that we're working on for a long period of time. Typically these clients are the ones that are also in off-season, because a lot of the issues actually arise in off-season, whether it be mindset, whether it be motivation, because sometimes not as fun as a prep, right? And then sometimes there's not that objective goal. So longer off seasons, people start to get into roadblocks, even maybe a bit of complacency sets in, and I'm very critical of that. I'm quite upfront with complacency when people start to get complacent. So some of the feedbacks today were not as straightforward as perhaps yesterday, where it's like, great job, thumbs up response. No, that's not the way that I respond. But not as straightforward as basically just saying that we're on track and then giving them the coaching points that they need for the next week. When you have to dive into a lot more deeper stuff like mindset, emotional stability, all of these things that some coaches will say, oh, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a life coach. But in a way, every good coach will be able to deliver good mindset tools and good clarity and direction within where someone's going in their life to be able to have an impact on their bodybuilding process. So, and I think a lot of my clients probably agree that, and if you even look at some of my roster, if you look at some people that started with me and they were a student, or started with me and they had a different job, and now they're often very, very good coaches because I'm giving them direction in their life as well as their bodybuilding process. So I'd say it was probably more of a mentally demanding morning than the rest of this week, but that's fine. I like that. I like the differences that I have and I experience day to day, because if an online coach tells you that every day is the exact same, it's definitely not, and unless they're coaching literally AI robots, because every day is very different and there's volatility in people's lives that you can't control, but you have to still be there to help those people work through those problems. So, and then Loz will agree that also check-in length is very different. I had check-in responses this morning that were pretty much all of the check-ins I've done this morning, apart from one, which is a guy in prep that's just smooth sailing, were all above 10 minutes. Yesterday's check-ins, the first 10 of them were all about 4 or 5 minutes, because there's just less to say. And I also think that I'm getting on a massive ramble here. Sorry guys, 5 minutes is my limit. I also think people who flex the length of their Loom videos are so stupid. Just because you made a Loom video 15-20 minutes long with feedback, that does not mean that that is a better Loom video or a better response. The best response is the one that gives the client the direction, the clarity, and the confirmation of what they need to do to achieve their goals, because that's why they hire you. So if it needs to be 10 minutes, if it needs to be 20 minutes, if it needs to be 3 minutes or 2 minutes, your job is to deliver that in the most efficient and deliverable way possible. I choose Loom for all my updates because I like being on a camera, people to hear my tone of voice, all of that kind of jazz. Do I do it all the time? No. Sandro's updating me pretty much. He's in prep at the moment. Graydon's another guy who's in prep at the moment. I have Kieran as well, but Kieran's at a point where he's a lot further out than Graydon and Sandro. But both of those guys are updating me every 2 or 3 days, and we're just on WhatsApp, text or voice note. So anyway, I'm going to stop rambling because I've rambled enough. Hopefully you enjoyed this topic of discussion, and I will be eating my normal egg whites for meal 1. And I'm preparing my pre-workout oats, which normally I get distracted and I explode, don't I?
The amount of times that happens.
Pretty close as well. And then I get upset, to be fair. It does upset me.
Does it?
I get angry with myself because it kind of ruins my day a bit, to be honest.
Better.
I get on a run with it. I remember when there was a point in one of my preps in 2017, I did it almost every morning. I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, why do I just consistently explode these oats?
It irritates me because I just think,
But I like to test the limit.
this
I
is why
like
it's
to
stupid,
push
because-
the limits.
Yeah, you do, and then you've gone over. What you do is you put it in for an amount of time that it's not going to explode. You like to leave it in for 6 minutes just to challenge yourself.
I like it. I like the risk.
So insane.
Let's take a moment for the upgrade in presentation of this meal, because the first time you guys saw this, it was diabolical. And now it looks like this could be served at a fairly reasonable establishment, restaurant-wise. So if anyone's wondering what that is that doesn't eat veg, it's red cabbage. Red cabbage is up there with one of my favorites at the moment. Then we got courgette. There's tomatoes in there as well, so they're like cooked into the egg whites. And then obviously 50 grams of avocado. All right, little taste test of Vaso Grand Prix Max Rocket to Bomb. Now, if you see that, it's meant to taste like one of those ice lollies, which I can remember how they tasted when I had them as a kid, so here we go. That's honestly very, very nice.
So, guys and girls, I thought I'd just wrap up this video with a little bit of a sit-down chat, a little bit about where I'm at in prep, a little bit about where the mindset's at, and also just generally how things are going, because I think the rest of the vlog has been a little bit unconventional, a little bit just pick up the camera, I've got a box arrive, I've got all of these different things, some food, some post-check-in chats, things like that. So today's Saturday, 29th of March, so almost the end of March. I am also 29 next month, which is crazy. I do not feel one bit almost 30 years old. There is not one bit of me, not one bit of me that feels like I'm almost 30. I still feel like I'm that 20-year-old, 21-year-old that obviously I started doing YouTube at 20, 21. But I also really started properly bodyboarding when I was 19, 20. I still feel like that guy. Obviously things have changed in my life and I'm in a position where I'm very grateful to be where I am, but there are certain things where I think you can't buy luck. Luck is earned. There's a certain part of me that always, some people maybe say I'm lucky, but you buy your own luck, you get your own luck, and you chase down things that if you're passionate about them, you're gonna get somewhere. So it's nice to reflect as I get a little bit closer to 30 years old, have a little bit of a think back to the guy that I was when I was 19 and 20 and starting bodyboarding. And my advice, if you're watching this and you're a young guy or girl, I understand the majority of my audience is guys, but I know that some girls watch this, and you are passionate and you feel like you could get more out of life. You feel like there is something more that you can give. Chase that down relentlessly. And don't be afraid to chase it down either. I feel like that is the number one thing that holds people back, is they're just not confident enough to chase it. They're a bit scared, they're a bit nervous, they're a bit, what will people think, or will I be successful? They've got this kind of consistent imposter syndrome. Everyone has that. I had that when I started. I also had people that would send when you could see on Instagram a long time ago, and you could see who sent it to other people. I had it on all of my posts when I was putting out informative content. I could see circles of people sending my stuff to other people, and I knew for a fact they were just taking the piss out of me. And so you just got to be, in this industry specifically, you've got to be very thick-skinned, be willing to take heat from people that will tell you that you shouldn't be doing what you're doing, or you're not knowledgeable enough. Loz has had it. Loz has definitely gotten some of that slack, and results speak volumes, and I was getting results with athletes and with clients from day one because I care and because I know that I'm going to do a good job. And if you can do that in whatever fashion, whatever industry, whatever way that you want to do something that you're passionate about, just do it with passion and you will do it likely very well. A lot of the best coaches in this industry, if you are wanting to be in the fitness industry, are not necessarily the most sciencey, nerdy, and clued up people. Obviously, they're clued up to do the job. Obviously, I'm clued up to do my job. But if I'm honest with you, a lot of my results have been bred with passion, have been bred with just loving it, have been bred with wanting to have people, wanting to see people succeed. So I don't really know how I got onto this topic of discussion, but hopefully some of that has been a little bit helpful. As for where I'm at in prep, so obviously 8 weeks out from show number 1, I have got at least 2 shows lined up. I know for sure I'm going to do obviously UK FBA Heart of England and then follow that up with the INBA PNBA Worlds. I'm literally registered for both. As for what happens from there, I don't know. It will depend on the results and how I feel after those as to whether I move on to any more shows at that point in the season. But I wouldn't mind doing a couple more. It just depends. It really does. How things are going right now, my answer would be 100% yes, because I feel good. I feel like I could sustain where I'm at now for a while, but it's going to get a little bit tougher than it is. I'd say that actually this week has probably in some ways been, as much as I've lost on average a bit more than last week on bodyweight wise, it's felt like an easier week. So when you're prepping, I always use this term of prep symptoms. They're like waves. So you'll have some days which feel really, really good and some days which feel not so good. And you'll have some hours in the day which feel really bad and you're like, oh my God, why do I feel so bad? And then you'll have other hours in the day where you feel really good. And then you almost, and comment below if you agree with this, but when you have those moments where you feel really good, you start to doubt whether you're in a deficit. You're like, am I actually in a deficit here? Am I actually working hard enough? Am I suffering? And that's something that I would like people to take away from this video as well, is that exposure to suffering, right? So there's this common phrase in bodybuilding where people will say the worse that you feel, the better you look. Now, at some point in prep, you will just feel a certain way because you're in a certain level of composition. So that level of composition will make you feel not so good. However, if you feel like that and you're 12 weeks out, 15 weeks out, 20 weeks out even, that is not a good place to be. So your exposure to feeling really crap should be minimized. You should maximize the amount of time that you feel actually really good. Because prep for me, for the most part, I actually feel substantially better than most of my off seasons. And being honest with you, I think this next off season, and I'll document it, but it's going to be definitely a different approach than off seasons I've previously taken. A lot of people will know me. I push up a lot. I have always pushed up a lot above my stage weight in the pursuit of big strength goals, and because I love chasing strength, and that sees me 50 pounds above stage weight. And I still believe with now basically being in the same condition that I was in 2021, but 8 to 9 pounds heavier, I believe that that's paid off. I feel like I've put on about 6 or 7 pounds of muscle in the last 2 to 3 years, which from natural bodybuilding terms, that's a lot of new muscle. And if I look back, guys, look back at some of my vlogs, my Boston bound vlogs. Watch just if you want to see where these big push-ups have come from and why they, in my opinion, work. Look at the guy, look at who I was. Look at the genetics that I got handed. Look at the One Day Out vlog from Boston. And then even just look at my 2020 physique or my 2021 physique. I didn't get gifted superb genetics, so I had to really graft to build my tissue. So, said the off-season approach might be a bit different in terms of just now I'm coming up to 30, I'm at a point where I've built a lot of the muscle that I will have across my sort of prime years. So maybe not pushing up that 40, 50 pounds is going to be needed, but time will tell on that front. And I think there's ways in which I can get strong or just as strong with not having quite as much body fat levels. But all I was saying is like, I feel for the majority of the prep better than I do in the off season. I feel more productive. I feel more focused. I feel more driven. I feel all the good things. So exposing yourself to that suffering element and that suck should only be for a short window of time in the grand scheme of things compared to the amount of time that you're actually in prep. Let's say you prep for 25 weeks for a show. Maybe 3 of those weeks or 4 of those weeks will be real, not so fun. The rest should be really good, really productive. And if they're not, question your approach. If you're doing a 12-week prep or a 10-week prep and it's basically hell the whole time, I just don't think that that's probably the best way for you to prep. Genuinely, I think there's a better way. And if you've been put through that and you've come out the other side, you'll know what it's like. It's not that fun. And if you need some help, reach out and I'll happily help you through a prep that might be a little bit smoother than that, because a lot of people don't know what that's like. I've had clients where they've had these really short aggressive preps and had to lose such a large amount of body weight in such a short period of time. And they've come and seen a timeline that I've created for their prep, and they're like, oh, why is it so long? Why am I dieting for so long? And then they do it and they realize, oh, I've retained so much more muscle. I've had so much more fun during the prep. And for the most part, I felt good. And I'm not selling you an easy prep, because no prep is easy. But what I am saying is that there's probably a better way that you could prep. So hopefully this gives you an insight into that. And at, shameless plug, but at naturalbbworldwide.com, I've got courses that will help you to build your timelines and understand what a prep should look like, what a pre-prep should look like, what prep length should look like, rate of loss, how to manage your training, how to make changes with nutrition. Everything is all in a course structure in the Contest Prep series. I've got an off-season series, nutrition series, training series, everything. This is all on there. So maybe check that out. But anyway, guys, I think I'm going to wrap this up here because this is 10 minutes long. The rest of the video is already 30 minutes. Let me know what you thought, as always. And if there's anything I can help you guys with, please let me know. Please comment below a topic that you'd like me to discuss, and I will discuss it. Comment below nasal strip if you watch the whole video. And I'm doing my best Martin Fitzwater impression with wearing my nose strip all day. So, but no, in all seriousness, I'm a bit nasally today. So I was like, I may as well take a little bit of precaution. But anyway, from me and my warmish black beverage, it is goodbye for now. Oh, jeez, it's a bit dark. See you later. It is see you next video. Thank you for watching. And guys, we'll catch up soon. Cheers.
That's lovely. It really tastes like a rocket bomb isolate. It's nice because I've put it in the freezer for a little bit, so it's nice and chilly. But it's a very smooth taste. I'll just pause James for a minute. Very smooth taste. Prees that have a really chalky taste in the esophagus. It's not like that. It tastes good. Do you want to try this pre?
Yeah.
Give it a taste test.
Oh, you want me to get mine?
Well, I've just taste tested it.
Alright. I don't want to be biased first, so let me do it.
No. You're in the frame. Where are you going?
I have a thought on it, but I don't know. Tastes like something.
It's meant to taste like one of these ice lollies. How about you?
About to get a
massive pump.